Whether they are wild dogs, stray dogs, or other types of dogs, they can easily kill all sorts of animals. Have you ever seen a dog attack a cow? What if I told you an ordinary dog with a limp could scare two monstrous lions? Would you believe me? If you want to see these and more, keep watching as we count down 15 vicious moments of desperate wild dogs taking down animals savagely. Number 15. Wild dog versus antelope. Wild dogs love to eat, and you can see how intense they are as they split whatever is left of this antelope with each other. There's so little left of the animal, it's hard to tell it's even an antelope. These two African wild dogs tear this antelope to shreds and pull out the entrails in seconds. Fingers looking good. This larger antelope has been overpowered by a pack of wild dogs, and they are stripping it clean. The Fanatic brings you all the best content you want to see when it comes to the animal kingdom. If you want to see the latest confrontations between animals and the best animal videos, please subscribe now. We post new videos every day for your entertainment. Number 14. Dogs versus goat. This small dog is very aggressive and chases these goats. He selects one of them from the group and attacks it. He's joined by another dog, and the two of them are all over the goats. They mutilate the poor little goat and then flee the scene. They appear to be two thieves who have just committed a crime. They are in fact two murderers on the run. This dog appears to be a Dao, but I'm not sure. Regardless, it is suffocating and killing this goat. The dog delivers the coup de grace to the goat, and it's all over. I've seen goats smash into so many animals that I'm surprised it couldn't provide a better challenge to the dog. I know the dog is vicious and has a pair of canines, but I was expecting more from the goats. Number 13. Dogs versus lizard. Watch as this dog leaps into the air and grabs a lizard from a tree. When he grabs the lizard, he is joined by a few friends and the lizard is destroyed. This dog approaches a large lizard but does not attack it. The lizard swings its tail at the dog, indicating it should not approach, and the dog appears to understand. This appears to be a dhole taunting this lizard. The dhole isn't acting aggressively, which I assume is because he's alone and the lizard is quite large. He's joined by another dhole, but they don't do much. A carcass is floating in the water, and both the lizard and the dholes want a piece of it. One of the dholes tries to grab the lizard by the tail, but it fails. The lizard appears to get closer to the carcass and now owns it. The dholes don't seem to insist and are not aggressive towards the lizard, so I'm guessing they got the message. This dog encounters a small monitor lizard and engages in a fight with it. The lizard is ferocious, but the dog is no pushover either. Both animals bite and scratch each other during the fight. The dog eventually overpowers and kills the lizard. Number 12. Wild dog versus buck. This bush buck uses the boulders as a protective barrier until the dogs get too close, at which point it dives into the water. But another dog is waiting for it on the other side, so it returns to the water and stays there. How long will the bushbuck be able to keep the dogs at bay? It's not difficult to figure out because the dogs have all day, and all they can think about is eating. These two wild dogs are fighting over a buck. Both dogs are tugging on the buck's tail to stop it. The buck eventually falls to the ground, signaling the end of the prey's life. I'm surprised only 2 wild dogs were needed to bring this buck down. This could not have been an easy task. A pack of 25 wild dogs tried to catch a female water buck, but she managed to hide behind a bush and keep the pack at bay until they lost interest and moved on to easier prey. The water buck dashed down to Jonah's dam on both occasions, most likely in search of water to drink. The second victim attempted the same thing, but she was not as fortunate, and both she and her unborn calf were yanked down and devoured in seconds. Number 11. Dog versus lion. To be honest, no dog breed could ever defeat a lion in a one-on-one battle. To take down a single lion, many dogs would be required, and even then, I'm not sure they could. Even if they are accompanied, not all dog breeds can kill a lion, especially not this hobbling dog who challenges 2 large lions, one of which is a male. The lions are taken aback by this dog's daring attitude and are at a loss for what to do. The male lion looks at the female, unsure if this dog is real or just plain crazy. Look at where this dog is going. It even charges the male lion. This dog is insane. If this lion loses his cool, he will devour the dog in one gulp. Certain dogs are not afraid of lions, as demonstrated by the dog in this video clip. Yes, it's a movie, but this dog isn't going down without a fight. Look at how this small stray dog takes it to this lion. It scares the lion away as it charges it, even though everyone knows the lion can kill the dog with one strike of its paw. Size doesn't always matter. Everything takes place in the mind, and it looks like this dog has what it takes up there. Number 10. Wild dogs attack wildebeest. The dogs don't seem to mind that these wildebeest are large and powerful, and their hooves and horns can cause significant damage. The dogs are searching for calves, but the adult wildebeest have formed a ring around them, making it difficult for the dogs to approach them. When the wildebeest confront the dogs, they have the upper hand. When they begin to run, the dogs gain an advantage, but this is unavoidable because wildebeest do not like dealing with predators head-on. As a result, when the herd runs, the calf can't keep up, which benefits the dogs. It's not the largest wildebeest, but it'll do for the time being. In our thumbnail, you can see a wild dog pulling on the snout of a wildebeest. It must be excruciatingly painful for the wildebeest just to get out of this position, as the dog can easily rip the poor victim's snout out. When a pack of wild dogs separates a young wildebeest from its mother, a dramatic hunt ensues. The terrified animal is encircled by the predators who trap it in a waterhole. Can the tenacity of a hungry pack of wild dogs triumph over their desperate survival attempts of the wildebeest? This wildebeest is in grave danger. Some of the dogs yank on the wildebeest's snout, while others bite at the wildebeest's backside. I'm not sure how long this tugging from one side to the other will last, but the wildebeest is clearly in a lot of pain. These dogs are attempting to approach a younger wildebeest, but its mother is on the alert, and nothing will happen unless they distract her. If they just keep yakking at the mom and she doesn't move out of there, they won't be able to grab the calf unless one of the dogs is attacked by the mom. The following clips show how lethal dogs can be when they tear various wildebeest to pieces during attacks. Wildebeest aren't easy to beat, but when the dogs work together, they're tough to defend against. Number 9. Dog versus dog. During a gathering, the dogs in this video have a three-way fight in the middle of the street. 2 dogs and a few civilians do everything they can to separate the dogs, but the dogs are obstinate and very difficult to separate. These 2 young puppies are play fighting. They're only 6 months old, so it would be surprising if they were aggressive towards each other. They're getting to know each other well as they pretend to dominate each other. These stray dogs run around, occasionally dropping the gloves and fighting. Because they are stray dogs, they must argue about a variety of issues, including territory, food, and possibly finding a mate. I suppose life on the streets is difficult for all living things, including dogs. To put it mildly, these dogs are quite aggressive. I'm not sure if it's because they aren't well cared for, but something is causing this viciousness that seems to possess them all. Number 8. Wild dog versus honey badgers. This is a fascinating matchup. 2 honey badgers versus 4 stray dogs? What happens next? Honey badgers are already known to be psychotic, so I'm not sure how they'll deal with a swarm of wild dogs. Even though the dogs appear to be having a good time, the badgers are serious about their business. The dogs flee as the badgers charge. The dogs are aware that the badgers can bite, but 2 of them are rolling in the grass and the other 2 are knowing the badgers. When the badgers finally leave, the dogs exchange puzzled looks. It's perplexing how wild dogs can dismember a massive antelope in seconds, but have trouble with a 30-pound honey badger. I'm guessing these dogs weren't hungry, and they weren't even looking to hunt. They simply thought the badgers were cute and wanted to play with them. A lone honey badger does not flee when 3 wild dogs approach it. While watching his back, he confronts his intruders. He's outnumbered and outsized, but the wild dogs regard him as a formidable foe. They know if they attack it, even if they are capable of killing it, there will be escaped and bruised, and they don't think it's worth it. A pack of wild dogs is on the hunt for another honey badger. The dogs never attack the badger, they simply run along with it, perhaps looking for a weak spot. They are aware of the honey badger's irrationality and aggression, so they are wary and don't press too hard. Number 7. Wild dog versus rabbits. This poor rabbit isn't much of a meal for this pack of wild dogs, but they eat it nonetheless. In the bush, food is food, and this could be an appetizer, or they could have already eaten, and this is dessert. The rabbit is cooked, fried, and roasted in any case. Rabbits aren't the best prey for wild dogs because they're so small, and feeding a pack of dogs takes a lot more than a small rabbit. However, for the time being, the dogs will take whatever they can get. One of the dogs doesn't feel like sharing with the others. These German Shepherds have cornered a rabbit and are fighting over it. I feel sorry for the rabbit because he is the one being torn apart by the two dogs. Number 6. Wild dog versus sandbar deer. These dhows are attempting to steal a baby sandbar, but mama is defending the calf. The dhows keep coming and the fight becomes one of endurance and tenacity. The dhows get a bite in every now and then, and the mother nearly runs into them on occasion. The dhows let go of the baby when mama turns around. It doesn't look good for the calf, and I doubt the jerks will stop until the calf is kidnapped. The mother is doing a good job, but the calf appears exhausted and ready to give up, and the mother is most likely doing the same. A pack of dhows encircles a sandbar deer as it visits a watering hole. When the dhows grab the sandbar deer, it immediately screams for help. It will occasionally make a loud call when it realizes it is in serious trouble. In this crazy world, things happen all the time. After more than an hour of struggle, the drama begins when the dhows take turns attacking the deer until it tires out and is unable to fight back. The seasoned hunters, the dhows, meticulously planned everything. They'd patrol the entire area, with 4 of them stationed at each corner to keep the deer at bay. Finally, the sandbar deer gave up and was mercilessly devoured alive. When wildlife photographers were taking pictures of an owlet on the dam side of a wildlife sanctuary, they heard screams from another animal. They muttered and reversed their vehicles, believing it was a tiger killing a dog. Surprisingly, the dhows had grabbed the neck of a sandbar deer and were attempting to strangle it. It screamed and struggled, but the dhows continued their slaughter. The photographers considered shooing the dogs away and cursing the sandbar for its stupidity, but they were forced to submit to nature's cruelty. Number 5. Dog fights animals. Many different breeds of dogs are excellent hunters, and these two are in the hunt for a kangaroo. I'm not sure if it's legal, but these dogs appear to have mastered the technique. This white dog scares a young tiger to death, but the tiger retreats until it has had enough and bites the dog on the neck. The dog howls in agony, but he asked for it. Even when its mother tries to stop it, this dog attacks a calf. The dog is determined, and the mother's size does not deter it in the least. He keeps going for the calf without hesitating. A monkey is being harassed by these dogs in a residential area. The dogs bark at the monkey, but the monkey is unimpressed and continues to hang out in the area. Number 4. Dog versus cow. These dogs are attempting to target a cow because it's time for lunch. They usually target one of the weaker or smaller ones, and that's exactly what they're doing. They come across a calf with its mother who tries to keep them at bay. When mom and her calf flee, the dogs chase them down and eventually kill the calf. Cows are vulnerable to such attacks, and they are unprepared to attack another animal. This pit bull attacks a cow, crawling under it and attempting to bite it. Another cow comes to the rescue and attacks the dog, but the dog is obstinate and bites the second cow's neck. In the meantime, 2 men attempt to separate the cows from the dog, but the dog is unstoppable. One man even manages to capture the dog, only to lose him again. After a long and difficult battle, the men finally remove the dog from this mess. I can't believe how stubborn this dog was. A true brat. Number 3. Dog versus porcupine. These dogs are trying to grab this porcupine. There are 2 things wrong with this video. The first is the dog's handler allowing the dogs to hunt an innocent porcupine. What's worse is the dogs will end up with quills stuck in their bodies. And besides being painful, they're not easy to remove. I guess some people are just plain dumb and cruel. This dog is all over this porcupine, but the dog's entire torso and face is filled with quills. The rescuers who arrived to stop this fight, which lasted over 1 hour, ended the porcupine's misery by shooting it, as you can see in the video. The dog was brought to a pet emergency center and is recovering. I'm guessing the porcupine was in bad shape, because it would have only been fair to bring him to a vet as well. Dogs are more vicious than lions and leopards when they go after porcupines. These 2 dogs don't hesitate 1 second when they stick their heads inside a porcupine's den and pull it out. Quills or no quills, they don't seem to give a hoot, and just snatch the porcupine out of there. Number 2. Dog attacks birds. This pigeon lands in this man's yard and is captured by a St. Bernard and paraded around like a toy until the dog's handler can convince the dog to let go. The bird was sickly. The dog's handler was concerned it had bird flu because neighboring countries where he lives had reported outbreaks caused by migratory bird droppings. Fortunately, this was not the case. The man thought the bird could have been Mr. AS-969, the missing $184,000 German carrier homing racing pigeon that flew the coop only to end up in his dog's mouth. When flying into another country, his sense of direction may have been confused because of the language barrier, which may have caused the crash. Even if this wasn't this bird, he should have kept him and cashed in on the Berlin reward. Nobody would have guessed. This dog decides to crash a pigeon coop and runs off with a pigeon or two. The owner runs out to chase the dog and finds one dead pigeon on the ground. I'm not sure, but I think the dog belongs to the owner of the pigeon coop. I know one dog that wouldn't be in the graces of his handler for a few days. Feral animals are those that live in the wild but are descended from domesticated animals. India has the world's largest dog population, with a large proportion of them roaming freely. These dogs pose a significant threat to the country's wild animals. They frequently hunt in packs for large prey such as deer and antelopes. They have been observed killing foxes. During a visit to the wildlife sanctuary, wildlife enthusiasts witnessed and recorded one such incident, in which a feral dog attacked a comb duck. They were able to chase the dog away, but it just goes to show how much wildlife survives in their country, even in so-called sanctuaries. Number 1. Dog attack cat. These two dogs harass a small kitten, but not to kill it. The kitten is irritated, but at least it stands its ground while the dogs are trying to grab it. These dogs are barking at a cat that is perched high on a wall, so it must be safe, right? Guess again, because one of the dogs grabs and jumps the cat, after which the dogs slaughter the poor kitty. This pit bull discovers a cat on his property and begins mauling it, but the cat manages to break free and flees. I'm pretty sure he escaped. Cats are extremely fast, can jump very high, and can fit through holes dogs cannot go through. This Dalmatian catches a cat that was attempting to flee his yard and mauls it to death. Because of the cat's small size, it had no chance of surviving against the dog. Many of these were spectacular, but the one that impressed me the most was the dog that jumped high enough to catch the cat on the wall. What a jump that was. What about you? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for our countdown of 15 vicious moments of desperate wild dogs taking down animals savagely. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.